You know what's crazy? Most people don't lose their future in one catastrophic moment. They lose it in 5-second decisions. 5 seconds checking Instagram before work. 5 seconds opening TikTok just for a minute. 5 seconds clicking another notification instead of finishing the task that could literally change your income. And then suddenly, it's the end of the month. Your bank account is stressed, your goals are delayed, your attention span feels broken, and somehow you've been busy every single day without actually moving forward. Look, if you've ever sat there wondering, how am I exhausted while accomplishing so little? That's literally the modern productivity crisis. And here's the painful truth. Distraction is no longer harmless entertainment. It's an economic disadvantage. Because in 2026, the people who control their attention control their income. The focused creator earns more than the distracted creator. The disciplined entrepreneur outperforms the reactive entrepreneur. The person who can think deeply for 2 hours straight has a massive advantage over someone constantly refreshing notifications. And I learned that lesson the hard way, because for years I thought I had a motivation problem, but I didn't. I had an environment problem, a systems problem, a focus problem. And once I fixed that, everything changed. My work improved, my finances improved, my confidence improved. So today, I want to walk you through the 5 habits that completely rebuilt my focus from the ground up. Not productivity gimmicks, real systems. Systems that transformed my chaotic schedule into something intentional, calm, and incredibly effective. And honestly, if you apply even 2 of these consistently, your life 6 months from now could look completely different. Most people wake up and immediately surrender their brain to a smartphone screen, killing their focus before the day even begins. I spent years trapped in that reactive cycle until I realized that high output isn't about willpower, it's about the systems you build. These 5 foundational habits will transform your chaotic schedule into a streamlined, high-output engine starting today. Here's the thing. Your brain is programmable. Every repeated behavior either strengthens your focus or weakens it. And modern technology is engineered to hijack your attention because attention equals money. That's why social media companies compete so aggressively for your screen time. The longer you stay distracted, the more profitable you become to them, which means reclaiming your focus is no longer just self-improvement, it's self-defense. And once I realized that, I stopped treating focus like some magical personality trait successful people were born with. I started treating it like a trainable system. So let's start with the first habit. 1. The morning input audit. Look, most people lose their focus before they even get out of bed. Alarm goes off, immediately they grab the phone. Notifications, messages, news headlines, reels, emails, and within 5 minutes, their brain has already entered a reactive state. Here's what most people don't realize. The first hour after waking up is psychologically critical because your brain is highly impressionable during that window. Meaning, whatever you consume first becomes the emotional blueprint for the rest of the day. So if your morning begins with stress, your nervous system stays stressed. If your morning begins with chaos, your attention stays scattered. I used to do this constantly. I'd wake up and immediately start consuming information, and before breakfast, my brain already felt overwhelmed. I'd compare myself to strangers online, read stressful emails, watch random videos, and somehow expect myself to produce deep, meaningful work afterward. It made no sense. So I implemented what I call the morning input audit. For the first 60 minutes after waking up, no social media, no notifications, no email, no YouTube, nothing. That one habit completely changed my mental clarity. Because instead of beginning the day reacting to external noise, I began the day building internal focus. Now my first 3 inputs are intentional. Usually water, silence, and something educational or reflective. Sometimes journaling, sometimes reading, sometimes planning. That's it. Simple, but unbelievably powerful, because your cognitive peak happens early in the day, and if you waste that peak chasing dopamine, you destroy your ability to focus deeply later.
This is where it gets really interesting. The dopamine spikes created by morning scrolling lower your motivation for difficult tasks afterward. Why? Because your brain already received stimulation without effort. So now effort feels emotionally expensive. That's why studying feels harder after scrolling. That's why work feels boring after TikTok. Your brain adapts to easy rewards. And financially, this matters more than people think, because focused people make better decisions. They avoid impulsive purchases more often. They think long-term. They execute consistently. Distraction is expensive, not just mentally, economically. So tomorrow morning, try this. Before touching your phone, ask yourself, what deserves access to my brain first today? That question alone can change your trajectory.
If you're ready to level up your life, drop a like and subscribe to join the community. Don't keep this energy to yourself. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Keep pushing, and I'll see you in the next one.